Do you want to go first? Do you want me to?
I'll let you go first.
Okay.
You found me. You found me.
I did, yeah. So I always tell people when they ask how we met, I tell them during COVID lockdown, I was baking a lot and really obsessed with the Great British Baking Show. And that's really what brought us together. I always wanted to go to England, and during COVID, I was getting a little stir crazy. I thought, I want to meet someone over there, and I was ready to start dating, and I thought I will go online, and that way I can meet someone there to have someone to visit and show me around. So nothing real serious. I wasn't really looking for anything at that point except to just meet people there. So I went online and signed up for some dating websites, but there was no way I could figure out how to filter to just get people from the UK. So then I just kept Googling and found Date a British Guy. So then I signed up for that and ended up talking to a few people before Dale, just for a few weeks at a time. And then, yeah, saw his picture and signed up. And I think it took him a few days maybe to get back to me. But I always tell him, was really hoping he would get back to me because I really liked his picture and his bio. And then he did, and I was pretty excited.
Very cute. So we've got to thank the British Bake Off then for inspiring.
British Baking Show is definitely.
And I thought, if Miss Wright was out there, I'll put my profile out there, and if Miss Wright's there, she'll find me. And obviously tried a lot of the other dating websites, put my profile out there, but found them more to not really be the dating type of website, but more that let's have some fun website. And I was like, that wasn't what I was looking for. I knew that I was obsessed with the States and I wanted to meet somebody in the States. So I put my profile out and just left it, and then had a couple of other ladies contact me, but a couple of chats, and then they just disappeared. And then this one showed up, and I was pretty much hook, line, and sinker from the get-go.
What was it about Morgan's approach in that sense, other than obviously like matching with you, that hooked you then, Dale?
I think the initial contact message, just saying, hey, I'm me, would love to chat, etc. I think we typed for a couple of messaged each other for a couple of weeks, and then I instigated a video call, and I got little Miss Shy that would barely say anything, but I could see straight away. I was like, wow, whoa, yeah, just wow. And I think I came across as quite, what was the word you used?
Intense.
But I was like, no, she's wonderful. And gradually the conversation started to come more freely from you. Right. And because of my job, I was a truck driver and I worked nights, which was great with the time difference. So
yeah,
basically I spent 4, 5, 6 hours whilst I'm driving, chatting, and
it worked out very well.
That was our life.
A year and a half.
A year and a half,
yeah,
basically. But I have to admit that I would have my phone set up in my field of vision with Morgan's profile set, and I was just looking for it to say online.
Oh, that's sweet.
And I'd already pre-written a message. As soon as I went online, I pressed send.
And it took me a lot to get back into dating. And I think that was sort of the reason too that this worked out, is I felt safer to date somebody that maybe wasn't down the street and wanted to meet right away.
Yeah, it's a very bizarre part of this online dating, is that you generally can't see them the next day. So it creates this like time and distance barrier that in a way does create a sense of comfort, I think, for a lot of people because of that.
It did, but it ended up kind of coming back to bite me because it was COVID. So we planned 3 to 4 trips probably, and then the UK would lock down and I couldn't go. And it was pretty heartbreaking because we wanted to meet a few months in, but we ended up having to wait over a year. So that was pretty tough.
I think what we met March 2020, and it wasn't online, and it wasn't until July, end of July 21,
that I came over to
Morgan managed to finally get to the UK.
Yeah, it was a long time.
What a crazy time. And so somehow you had this virtual relationship for a year or so.
Yeah.
Which leads us to the next weird part of our story is that by then we had already decided that we would want to get married and be together. So because we literally spent at least 8 hours a day talking every single day.
Yeah.
I started to feel like naked if I didn't have headphones in all the time.
For the visa process, for me to get to the States, we're looking at 1 to 3 years at the time on paper. I was like, no.
So then we looked here in California where I live, and they said, yeah, just sign this paper and you can do it tomorrow. Very easy.
So we actually, Morgan's eldest son got himself ordained.
Before us, actually, he had married other people.
Yeah,
so
he got ordained. Yeah, and then married us. And
so I went over for 2 weeks.
You came to Britain for 2 weeks.
Met Dale and his family and some friends, and then he came home with me and met my family and friends, and we got married that same week. So my friends and family thought it was a little crazy.
Wait a second. So you're telling me that this time period of not ever actually meeting, and then you decided to get married having not met physically yet. And then you met, confirmed that you are actually who you thought you were, showed each other to each other's families, and basically tied the knot.
Within 3 weeks.
Within 3 weeks, yes.
Meeting in person. Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Which was interesting because I obviously it was going through COVID, and I got to the American side of the airport, and I got whisked straight into security, and they knew. So for anyone wanting to do, they know what you're up to before you've even done it. And I got called in. It's like, why are you? What's the purpose of your visit? I said, well, I'm here to see my children because I've got children that live in the States. Like, okay, yeah, I'm like, and I'm also here to get married. And he was like, aha. That's what I was after. I wanted to know what's happening, because if you hadn't told me, you'd have been on the next plane out of here. So they know.
Yeah,
they know.
Every time.
But as long as you're honest with the boys over in security at the airports, as long as and you follow the rules and laws that they want in place, like you have to leave. You can't say yes. There's my return ticket. Right. They're very accommodating too. But yeah, no.
Okay. So just going back to international dating as a whole, what advice would you give to people that are thinking about this and haven't actually met anyone yet from the other side of the world? It doesn't have to just be the US, UK, because we're sort of branching out to other countries.
Something I really liked about DBG is it said right on the profile, like, are you wanting to go across the pond, or what is your goal? Which was nice because
I put relocate.
Yeah, and I thought, well, that's perfect because I didn't really want to move from the US, and so that was nice. I would always look at that when I would look at people's profile to kind of see what their goal was. Just to talk to people, and you might not be all that interested in their profile photo or certain things, but when you actually get to talk to people and meet them and find out about them, it's pretty great. Actually, I learned a lot of things about the UK just talking to other people as well.
But my advice for anyone doing it is, be upfront. I was warts and all with Morgan pretty much from the get-go. That this is me. My profile picture was I'm ex-soldier. My head was shaved. I was clean shaved here. When she meets me, my hair's down here. My beard's down here.
It's actually funny because we had talked for a couple of weeks, and then he said, let's video chat. And I said, okay. I was a little nervous, but wanted to. And he said, before we do this, you should know that don't really look like my picture, because he had promised his son he wouldn't cut his hair till he saw him next, and then COVID hit and couldn't see him
for 18 months.
So he looked like a Yeti. But he didn't say that. He said, I look a little different. And I said, yeah, I've probably gained a few pounds as well from my profile picture. And he got on the phone, and his hair he was really different. Yeah.
But yeah, no, just warts and all. If you're seriously interested in somebody, you know, get to know them, then be honest with them. But the video calls, if they're interested and serious, they're going to want to video you. If they keep putting off, it's like.
And after a few weeks, even, we met each other's family online.
Oh yeah.
I talked with his mom, and he met mine, and yeah, because we were always on the phone anyway, so our families pretty much knew what was going on.
But my mum was like really impressed with Morgan, and I remember about 3 months later sitting down, and both my brothers had showed up, and my youngest brother had just met a significant other, and he'd met her online. So my middle brother, because I'm the eldest, was like, "What do you think, Dale, about his?" I won't mention the name, but mentioned her. I says, "I don't know. I've got my Morgan." They're like, "What? Wait, what? Yeah, I've got my Morgan. Who's Morgan?" And my mum's showing. She's a lovely girl. She's an absolutely lovely girl. She's in America. Are you online? Yep, met her online. She's lovely. And all of a sudden, the conversation goes from my little brother to me and my new lady. And it was just my whole family straight away once they'd met and spoke, and they were like, "Oh, she is fantastic there," and they just took to Morgan immediately. And then Morgan's got a couple of older boys. I've got a couple of older girls. My eldest is 22, yours is 23. And to be quite honest, my daughter, my eldest, is very protective of me because she knows what I've been through. I've had my daughter full custody of her since she was 7 months. And she was the one that says, "Dale, for God's sake, just marry her."
I wish my family mine was a little harder to convince. Yeah, I think because I hadn't dated a lot, and then when I told them I'm going online and meeting someone from a different country, that sounds a little weird. Yeah, exactly. When I finally had my trip over to meet him for the first time, my mom kept saying, "I'm coming with you. I'm not letting you go there alone." And I said, "No, I'm fine." And then when I was actually on the plane, I met a couple. They were sisters. They were flying, and they said, we were just chatting. And so I told them what I was doing, and they were floored. They were like, "Can we follow this online somehow?" Like, we're really invested. Because everyone was like, "What if he smells? What if you don't like him when you see him in person?" But yeah, my family came around. But yeah, at first it sounds pretty weird.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of guts, you know, for both of you. I mean, obviously there's the safety aspect, which, you know, both of you have to consider, because like when when Dale goes over to America, he doesn't know what family members are waiting for him,
right,
with a shovel and a shotgun. So
I think there are a lot of people that it's outside their comfort zone. You know, I've come here. I've been coming to America since 1995. Was my first trip to America with the army. I did. I mean, for me, I did 24 years in the army. I traveled the world, so I was used to travel. But I'd come to America in '95, and again 2010 onwards. Even living a year in Canada, driving America. So for me, I was in my comfort zone in travel, but I think for a lot of people it is out of their comfort zone. They don't know, and it has been a big learning curve here, you know, how things are done over here. The differences are night and day in certain areas, like buying a house or getting a license. I think other things is, you know, just people not wanting to leave their families, you know,
or their area that they've grown up in or live in.
I don't know. I have my personal opinions about people like that. I'm like, there's a big world out there. Get out and enjoy it. Stop being so narrow-minded. Get out and view. And, you know, your Miss Right, Mr. Right could be anywhere on the planet. And I find people get stuck in a rut, their humdrum life. It's what they're comfortable with, but no enjoyment. So I'm not saying that for everyone, and I don't want to put anyone down, but just it's an adventure. It really is an adventure. You get to meet some fantastic people. To be quite honest, lads, Americans love the British accent, particularly the ladies. And it's just everyone is just so welcoming. They couldn't be more helpful. It's always, can I help you? Can I do this? Can I do that? Have you got enough? And it just puts you at ease. So get out of that comfort zone. Make yourself feel uncomfortable. Get out, and you might find that it's the best thing you ever did.
Well said. Well said. And are you tired of getting gifts that are boxes of tea yet? Or is that just me?
I actually love tea, so
yeah,
and I love the tins, and I love it all. I have so my family jokes and they say it looks like Britain threw up in your house because I have so much memorabilia all over.
Morgan actually has 2 Christmas trees. She's got the Christmas tree for the sitting room that has the lights and the ornaments and decorations, and she has a Christmas tree for the corner of the bedroom that has the Union Jack flags and the British Bulldogs and just all the ornaments, all the British, the puffy ornaments you can buy from the airport. Yeah, it's covered in all this British
right.
And it stays up for a couple of months. For me, America offers so much. I'm quite the outdoorsy type person. I also I'm a truck driver now, and I do long distance trucking. And I tell you what a way to see the countryside for free and get paid to do it. But I'm also a big skier. I'm actually team captain now of the US national paragliding team.
Wow.
For the accuracy squad, and I'm a mountain biker and a hill walking instructor. I do all of that. I teach all of it, and there's not that many places in Britain that offers all of it. I can go and teach paragliding. I used to teach for the Green Dragons down in London, but there's no skiing. But where we live, last winter season, I was the chief ski instructor up at Mount Shasta and spent 5 months skiing, and they paid me to do it. It's like, it brings everything that I am, all my activities, my love for wandering around and seeing stuff,
all your interests.
All my interests. For me, America encompasses all of that because it offers pretty much everything. Particularly where we live, it offers everything in one location. So it's fantastic.
A lot of friends and coworkers that ask me how we met, and when I tell them, they're very interested, and I give them your website because I tell them, well, if you want specifically to meet someone from Britain. So I haven't heard back any success stories yet, but
I think there's been a couple of them have signed up and are on it now.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
So we'll take our commission later.
Of course.
Well, thank you for putting us together.
I did have one add-on for people that do get to this point where they've decided, we want to get married. The process that we went through, because I saw on one of the other videos they were talking about how they were going through the process, and we thought, well, we could maybe give a quick how the process could be done to people's advantage. We found a cracking immigration company that checks all our paperwork. It was a company called Boundless, and they were fantastic, and they actually
they sort of handheld us through the whole process and told us what the steps would be.
They supply a fully qualified attorney,
immigration
lawyer who checks everything is in place. We found that they'd be like, well, it's going to take 2 months to do this, it's going to take a month to do this, and we found that we got the checklist and we scanned every single document that was on that list, and within 5 minutes of them saying we need this, we pinged it back. It brought the process from 2 months down to 2 weeks.
Wow.
Once they crossed the T's and dotted the I's, it was then sent through to
USCIS.
Yeah.
Did the company that you used sort of lay out all of these steps, and they actually, like, from your experience, that kind of worked perfectly? Like they did
the paperwork. You know, they would say, this is the form you need, so give us the info, fill it out, send it back to us, and they would go over it, make sure there's no mistakes, and submit it. That was all part of they give you an initial cost up front, and that's all you pay. And then I'm assuming all their lawyers are this great, but we had her email, and we would email her, and she would answer every little question we had. But yeah, they basically handheld us and told us each thing along the way.
So it's what, about $1,000 or $500? It wasn't that expensive. It was either $500 or $1,000 to get this company on board. In UK, I looked at one, and they were trying to charge me £6,000. Boundless,
wow.
Boundless, they were less than $1,000, and they did everything.
And they have a good website to upload.
$1,000. So you're saying I mean, on top of the 1,000, you had to pay some like government fees, right?
Sure, yes, but that was the green card side. But for them to do everything to get us to the point where we got to the government, it was less than $1,000.
And to hire just an immigration lawyer is so much more than that, and you basically get built in, which is great.
So and they're not sponsoring this channel or anything, but I think it's great that you have a company that and you said they're called Boundless, right? So
Boundless, yeah. I think they're actually a Canadian company, aren't they?
I don't remember. But it's very, I think that for most people, you need somebody to walk you through the process. The forms definitely. So many times I told Dale, I feel like I could be an immigration lawyer now.
Yeah.
And in the end, you know, as long as you love each other, trust each other, and want to be together, like, probably the marriage is the simplest and the fastest solution.
Right.
But obviously, like, that's a big, those things are pretty big and have to be super, like, qualified out before you like something like that.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm pretty much useless without this one now. I'm so dependent on just being with her and being in the same room, you know. I hate it when we're separated. So yeah, no, it's definitely, you know, it's got to be the real deal, you know. You've got to be sure it's what you want.
I can tell from here how in love you two are with each other, and it's always nice to hear that sort of dependency and need that people have for one another. So I'm sure you'll be a beacon of success. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Hopefully we'll have this out in the next day or two.
Okay.
No, thank you, and thank you for bringing us together.
Yeah, very much.
No problem. It makes me happy to hear that.